Hello Minecraftians, this is BadBoyHalo with the Saints of Games, and welcome to a video on Kaya traps. For those of you who don't know, the Kaya kit involves placing dirt blocks, well, grass blocks that will vanish after somebody steps on them or gets within like 2 blocks near them. They will vanish if that person is not the Kaya that placed them. So for this video, I'm going to give you 7 Kaya traps you can use to your advantage. They're easy to do. Here's the first one. It's you really just dig a pit straight down, then you build a wall to lead people to the Kaya opening. Very simple fall trap, very effective. This trap has a very quick setup time. It's very effective against any kit except Stomper, Kangaroo, or a Turtle if they're prepared, and it's got a very quick reset time. However, the disadvantage to this kit is items are pretty much unrecoverable in any realistic sense, since you'd have to go down to the bottom of the hole and come back up. This next trap is not a fall one, it's more of a one that you can stand by and collect the items from, giving it a very quick setup time. It's effective as far as you're there to fight and kill the player. This one doesn't rely on gravity or fall damage. This relies on you killing the player with a sword. The reset time is very quick, and the best part, as I mentioned, is you get to keep all of the items, which is an added bonus. All you're doing is making a little hole underground, making a little base, getting yourself set up so that when the player jumps down, they think they're landing on a block, but then they fall down, giving you a little opening you've dug out where you can just hit them in the legs and deal a bunch of quick damage to kill them as quickly as possible. Yeah, it's a little bit of a sneaky way to kill people, but it is effective, and you can set it up so that they can't even hit you. If you set the distance right when you're down beneath them at their legs, they won't be able to hit you if you get the distance just right, and you can just deal a bunch of damage to them. To make this kit even more effective, you can place the block that they'll fall down onto as a workbench, so that when they try and tower up out of it, it'll be a little bit harder to do, and they'll be stuck there a little bit longer if they do try and climb out of the trap. You can also place a block on top of the Kaya block, which will kill the grass, turning it into a normal dirt block, but it will still have the Kaya trap effect. So people won't see it and go, oh, that's a Kaya trap block. They'll just see it and go, oh, that's a normal dirt block. I can jump onto it and I don't have to worry, making this trap even more effective. Also be prepared to have soup if you do use some of these traps, as the fights can get a little intensive. And make sure your distance is set at just the right distance so you don't get hit by the other player. This next trap is very effective, it's very quick to set up, it has a very easy reset time, but again, not a very good item recovery, and if the person is a Kangaroo or a Stomper, it's not going to have much effect against them. All you're doing is cutting out a little base in a rock wall and then building a bridge over a high drop to that place, so that when a player runs across to try and get to you, they fall to their death and die. Because this trap is so easy to reset and easy to set up, you can just set it up, then leave it, and use it if you're being chased by a really strong player, or you can use it by making people think you're running out and then have them run in to attack you, and they'll fall and then they'll die. Another variation of the tricky fall trap you just saw is where you just build a staircase. You can build it over a high place or build it over a flat area, but just build it high enough so that anyone who climbs on it will fall. You set the Kaya blocks in the middle like this, and then you just go up. Most people won't notice them. They'll just keep climbing up the staircase to try and get to you, and by the time they reach the top, they're within like fall damage reach, and they'll just fall off of it and get a bunch of fall damage and then die. This is another good trap that isn't effective against Kangaroo or Stomper, and also keep in mind you can also be Ender Mage down beneath this trap, or with any of the Kaya traps if you hang out inside them, but you can just leave this trap here so that if you need to use it, you can come back later in the game and use it to trick a stronger player to fall to their death. Here we go, a different style trap. This one involves lava. Now lava can be used in different methods. You can either put the lava so that a player runs over a block and they fall into the lava, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to use a different method where I would set up the lava in such a way that the players would have it fall onto them. So I dug out a long hallway and I put the Kaya blocks above where the lava was, so that when the players run through the tunnel, they run and set off the blocks, causing the lava to fall and kill them. Now I also set up a little side hallway so I could put blocks where they were trying to run to escape to, so they'd be trapped a little bit longer and they'd take more lava damage. This trap is very effective against anybody except a fireman, perhaps, if they can escape it in time. or any player who manages to escape in time. But other than that, very effective trap. It has a very, very, very long reset time though. It's very difficult to reset this one, and the item recoverability on this one is very low, considering they burn to death in lava and you lose all the items there. But other than that, it's a very effective trap. Pretty easy to set up, takes a little bit longer than other traps. This is more of a one use. I recommend setting this one, then leaving it and coming back when you need to use this trap, maybe as a game finisher. Play the rest of the game and then use this to kill the last person if you're having trouble with them. Very good trap though. This next trap has a pretty quick setup time. It's very effective even against strong players who have a bunch of armor. It has a very quick reset time, and the items are indeed recoverable. What this is, it's a suffocation trap. You build a trap and put a workbench at the bottom, making it hard for them to block their way out if they need to, and then when a player jumps down, you can place sand over the top of it to kill the dirt, or you can just leave the sand there so they won't think it's a Kaya trap and they'll fall anyway. And then when they do, they will fall down, and then you just drop sand onto them. And then what you can also do is block the top off with cobblestone. They'll take a bunch of suffocation damage, and then as they're trying to get out, you can place more sand, or optionally, as the sand, they dig through it or they jump up out of it, you can just hit them and kill them a lot quicker. And it's very easy. And this trap, if you have a ton of sand, you can just keep pouring it onto them and they'll just keep taking damage, and you can soften them up and then make them very easy to kill later on once they try and get out of it. This makes this a very good trap. Just remember to place the blocks quickly and effectively, and place the cobblestone on as quickly as possible, because you don't want them to be able to jump their way out like this guy does. But even he wasn't that hard to kill because he wasn't prepared and he was just jumping up and it distracted him a bit. So very good trap. Here's another variation of the fall damage trap that's very effective against any kit except for Stomper and Kangaroo. This kit has a very quick reset time. Item recoverability is possible, but you'd have to tower all the way down to the bottom, and that's kind of a pain to do. With this trap, you dig 2 long tunnels down to the bottom, and then you build up one side, build yourself a little bunker, and then you place the Kaya block over the top of it with some sand on it so that people can't tell it's a Kaya trap. And then when players jump down into the hole, they'll fall down all the blocks and they'll die. For added bonus, you can also put cactus at the bottom so that when players jump down to it, they'll take damage on that even if they are a Kangaroo and Stomper. I found this trap to be most beneficial if you save it to the end, or save it when you absolutely need it. You can just jump down into the hole, move over to the side. When the player jumps down after you, they'll fall and take damage and die. Now keep in mind, with all these traps, Ender Mage can be a disadvantage to them if a player Ender Mages you out of your trap, or if a player flashes up to your trap if you're in a tower, or just gets to your trap somehow, like jumps to it if they're a Kangaroo and you're in a tower. So just keep all those things in mind when using these traps. But other than that, I hope you like all the traps I've shown here. Make sure you leave a comment in the description if you have any traps I should try. If you don't really use the Kaya kit at all, I hope you at least learn some tips for how you can avoid being Kaya'd into a trap and tricked into one. Hope you all have a happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Die! Give me the compass! Give me the compass! Hello, Minecraft!